In a little more than 10 minutes Wednesday, we learned a lot from President Trump. He walked into a briefing with Chief of Staff John Kelly and said this to reporters.
I want to do a great job with DACA. I think it's our issue. I think it's a better issue for the Republicans and for the Democrats.
Do you want citizenship for
we're going to morph into it. It's going to happen at some point in the future. Over a period of 10 to 12 years, somebody does a great job. They've worked hard. It gives incentive to do a great job, but they've worked hard. They've done terrifically, whether they have a little company or whether they work or whatever they're doing. If they do a great job, I think it's a nice thing to have the incentive of, after a period of years, being able to become a citizen.
How many years, Mr. President?
We're looking at 10 or 12.
10 or 12 years?
If there's no agreement by March 5th, are you going to protect them? Are you going to extend the deadline?
Yeah, I might do that. I'm not guaranteeing it because I don't want to do. I want to put a little bit of a. Right. But I certainly have the right to do that if I want.
Sean Sullivan is in Washington. He is a congressional reporter for the Washington Post. All right, so Sean, the president proposed a way for Dreamers to possibly get citizenship in about a decade. We know lawmakers are working on an immigration deal. So how do you think the president's proposal, his remarks there, are going to influence those negotiations?
Well, I think we're going to see advocates of a big sweeping immigration deal, a bipartisan deal, latch on to these remarks and say, hey, look, the president is basically on our side, in our corner. He wants to provide a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants. But the issue here is that we've seen the president say and take different positions at different times throughout this debate. And so when he seems to take a more conservative position, when he seems to be rejecting deals that Democrats and centrist Republicans are offering, we hear conservatives saying, well, hold on, the president is with us. And then when we see him say things like this that he said today, we see Democrats and centrist Republicans say, well, hold on, he's with us. So, it's still not totally clear where the president's going to come down. He's being pulled in different directions. You have aides in the White House who are very, very conservative hardliners on immigration who don't want him to agree to a centrist deal. On the other hand, you have lawmakers on Capitol Hill, including Chuck Schumer, who also have the president's ear, who is saying, look, come to the table, meet us in some middle ground, strike a deal. So it remains to be seen where ultimately the president will come down.
And Sean, how do you expect people in the president's own party to react to these statements?
Well, I think we're going to see a mixed reaction because the party is split on immigration. So if you take somebody like Lindsey Graham, who is a moderate on immigration, I think when he reacts to comments like this, you'll probably hear him say, this is an encouraging sign. But on the other end of the spectrum, you have lawmakers like Tom Cotton, the senator from Arkansas, David Perdue from Georgia, Steve King from Iowa, who are more hardliners on immigration, who might be troubled by this rhetoric, or at least might want to see more on the side of border security, more on the side of enforcing border security laws before they can agree to such a path. So I think we'll see a split, again, not only between Democrats and Republicans, but even among Republicans themselves.
Well, before these comments from the president, what was the status of immigration talks on Capitol Hill? Was there any progress?
There's this bipartisan group that has been trying to work on a deal in the Senate. There was a government shutdown over the weekend, which really was the result of Democrats saying, look, we're not going to move forward until the Republicans say, hey, we'll work with you on a deal to help legalize young undocumented immigrants. Well, they came to an agreement to end the shutdown and move forward and try to work on immigration on Monday. But in the last couple of days, we haven't really seen that many signs of progress. We've seen Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader in the Senate, say, well, hold on a second, that offer I made to the president to fund his border wall, that offer is no longer on the table. You've seen the White House say, well, this deal that bipartisan negotiators are trying to finalize on Capitol Hill is dead on arrival. So, even though we've seen some signs of potentially moving forward and striking an agreement, we've also seen the two parties kind of retreat into their partisan corners right now in this issue. So we don't have any sort of framework or agreement that has the votes to move forward and that can get to the president's desk right now.